Do your emojis need a makeover? I have the perfect person joining me. We have Tracey Pickett here with us. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. Thank you for joining me.
Well, I am glad to be here. Really am.
I'm excited to share this with everyone. But before we get into that, I have the ill wheel. And so I have all my guests, a fun little game that we're going to play. So you just choose one and just spin it and let's see what we get.
All right, I'm going to do this one right
here. Okay. One more better spin. I'm better spin. One more.
One more? All
yeah.
Right. There we go.
What's the most spontaneous thing you've ever done?
That's probably what I'm doing this week, which is flying out to LA, just because I needed to get away and visit some friends, and also try and connect with some people in the tech industry.
Okay, nice.
So yeah, that's probably in recent history the most spontaneous thing I've done. Yeah, I can't wait.
Okay, and one more.
All right, we can do this.
Okay. What's one thing you will never do again?
Ooh. Probably go back to school.
Okay, that's a good one. I think that was my answer to that one, actually. Okay.
No, after law school, I am like good on school.
That's a good place to stop. I think that's a good stop.
Yeah, I actually was gonna go get my MBA, but I figured I could teach myself what I need to learn about business. But yeah, I think I'm ready to just
keep going.
Yes.
Okay. So, perfect way to kind of get into what we're into. So you went to law school, like we said, you are a lawyer.
Yeah.
But besides all that, we are here about Eboticon, right?
Yes.
Okay, yes. So just tell me a little bit more for those who don't know exactly what that is. Let us know what that is.
Yeah, so Eboticon is an urban emojis app, and back probably 2 years ago, I was frustrated, just like everyone is now, about how there were no emojis that really expressed what we say and do. And so I wanted to do it. I found out that there was no way to put it into the keyboard, and so I kind of, gave up on it.
Stopping point, right?
Yeah, and then I met another friend of mine while I was playing drums at a church here in Atlanta, and I told him about the idea. He was like, no, that would be really dope. We should try and do it. And so he brought together some business partners, and we created the app. So basically, it's like emojis on steroids.
Yes,
really.
It is. It really is.
So all the things that, memes are really popular now. You see all kind of like animated emojis, but this is a little bit different in that all of the animations and emojis are GIFs, which are like short little clips, but we created them from scratch. We didn't pull them from any movies or anything like that. And we just take all of the urban expression that we see out now, and we put it into a platform where you can use it in your everyday communication. So
very nice.
That's what Eboticon is.
And for those, it's been interesting to see because you're one of my best friend's sisters.
Yes.
And so I remember when it first started, it was real secretive. She's like, we're doing something. And I'm like, girl, you better tell me what. She's like, no, it's me and my sister. And we're working really hard on this. And so when it dropped, it was just like, okay, perfect, finally. So how do you even, and I think it's kind of cool because they're not like extreme animations, but they get the point across. And they're fun and they're cute. So how did that process of building, like, what emoji do you use? Why do you just use faces? Why do you get so animated and everything? How does that
so my sister,
Ashley
Pickett, we are so animated and silly. And I think around the time that, reality shows like Housewives and
Family
exactly.
and all that
and there were things I was just picking up, and then I just tried to find a way to say it over text and, just to express myself, you know what I mean? So I just started keeping a log of the things that I found to be funny, even in, television or just with my friends. And I'm like, other than me scouring the web for little clips from movies or old episodes of Martin, like, how am I gonna find these? And so we just started compiling a list. We did a focus group where we asked, we had maybe 30 or 40 people during that time period to say, hey, here's a whole list of like 100 things that we think people would want to express over text message that they can't right now with the emojis that are currently in their phone. And that's how we started. So we only had like, I think, maybe 12 in there to begin with. Yeah, and like now we have, we're approaching 100, and it's so funny because we were looking for someone to do the animations, and we needed someone, like, mind you, a lot of people do animation, art, but usually they're more towards the cartoon or anime, which is like more the Asian culture. But we were really hopeful to find someone that was familiar with urban culture, because the worst thing you could do is have an emoji that we're trying to express something that Nene might say, and it looks like something like, you know, Linda might say, or Becky.
Right.
So anyway, we found a guy who was actually perfect. He was right out of school, and he is amazing. And so it's funny because I have to almost model for him.
Yes,
so
okay.
I have my friends model for him. But the process is so much fun, and so it's just been fun. Every week I am producing 3 or 4 new emojis, and now we call them Ebojis, by the way.
Ebojis. Okay.
Yes, because the name came from trying to mesh together, you know, urban culture. So you think about Ebonics, you think about ebony, right, and then emoticons, and there we have it.
So I'm looking, and y'all have updated these because my favorite one I'll say are the won't he do it one.
Yes.
I like the yes one that I just saw, but I see this old lady like dancing and doing all that. So what is this? How do you think of ideas?
Something I laugh at,
right?
Or I'll just be in the middle of a conversation and I'll want like my facial expression. This is actually something I started doing like a year and a half ago. I would like literally make the expression of the emoji that I'm typing, which is kind of weird, but you know, But then I'm like, oh well, that's a good way to jot it down. So yeah, I would jot down stuff if I watched Housewives, or if I watched, you know, old episodes of Martin, or even you did something not long ago. I was like, Or and like now, like my sister the other day, she was like, I'm bothered, and I'm like,
we need that one.
You know what I mean? So it's just everyday kind of, and that's really the best inspiration is everyday conversations. Could you have said what you just said over text message, and would I really have gotten how you felt about it?
Right.
That's when we need to put in an emoji. So.
I love the emoji name. Emoji. Send me an emoji. I like that. Your company it's open, but it's private, because I know a lot of people are trying to get into that pot because everyone says this is a great, grand idea. Mm-hmm. But you have chosen your team. A solid, thick, tight team.
Yeah.
Are you ready for that big time? Because that's really what it seems like people are doing these days, building these apps, maximizing them, and then just selling them off. So are you able to tell me that? So is that the goal?
Well, I don't think our goal, like we're not shooting at how we can get acquired.
Okay.
I mean, but it is absolutely awesome if that does happen. So anybody thinking about buying,
we here.
Exactly. But right now we're really just, you know, there's a theory relative to startups, especially the tech space, and it's called the lean startup theory.
Okay.
Basically, where you put out something that is probably, they call it the MVP, but it's like a viable product that you can put out without spending a lot of money, but can also test the market to see if what you're trying to create on the grand scale is what people really want. And so what we did was start out with a very basic version of our app, and now we're trying to
They got clothes, they got all the outfits.
Yeah, we're putting you'll be able to add your own captions to them, music. And we're just, you know, we're growing in that way, but I think over time we really just want to get it to that absolute best product, and then, you know, we'll look at how we want to expand from there. But we're starting on t-shirts and stuff like that, some apparel, and you know, mugs and whatever we can do just to kind of promote the brand and promote just kind of the culture of it all, and then we'll see what happens from there. But you know, we're not close to anything.
So you log on to Google.
Yes.
And you check the Google News, and you see that Eboticon has been mentioned on what site?
International Business Times, which is like.
What do you do?
First, I email my coworkers.
I'm out.
Because I email my coworkers because the International Business Times is what attorneys and executives read on a daily basis. Like that is the publication for big businesses that are coming out. You know, and to be mentioned in a headline with Apple is like, where does that happen? I don't know, but that is like huge for us. And at no point do we think we kind of arrived in that space. Like I think we have a lot of work to do. I think it's amazing we're getting this much publicity at this point. But yeah, we're just excited about any publicity, even opportunities like this, to be able to talk about it. Like we're honored at every point that we get mentioned or reposted or whatever. We're just happy that people are enjoying it, and we just want to keep making sure that we're responding to that, making it even better. Because if people like it, we just want to keep giving them what they want. You know?
And they like it, they love it. Like AT&T, I'm on Instagram. And I'm like, permission to use what?
Yeah, we got an email last week where someone from AT&T wanted to feature Eboticon on the AT&T website. I'm like, what? Is this a joke? I'm looking at the person's name like this cannot be right. But yeah, they're doing some promotions and talking about the use of GIFs and memes in mobile communications, and they chose us as the ones they wanted to talk about. So I'm like, absolutely.
Congratulations. Yeah, no, like use all of them. We'll make some more that you can use if you need them.
Exactly. And there's also some interest in the music industry, because it seems that when people put music to them,
it's even better. Yeah,
they go and
I didn't even realize they didn't have music at one point, because all of the ones I was saying, and so when I down, I was like,
yes, exactly.
People are really into this and building them and using them.
Yeah. So they use that as a way to promote their music. And so, like, even with Ty Tribbett's, like, Attached Shit, he got so much publicity and so many more followers because his music was there. So, you just kind of figure out, well, wow, this might be a way to help people market or whatever. So we're just trying to respond to whatever comes at us.
So we emojis. Yes. So you're a lawyer, which takes a lot of the expense off of because you need a lawyer for this. I think you need a lawyer.
Absolutely.
So my experience with lawyers, they're pretty like black and white. Like you kind of have to, the reasoning, you either yes or no. So with something so creative, how are you not like stumping yourself in this process with letting your logic get in the way?
Yeah, I enjoy the creative aspects of everything generally. Like even with law, I never wanted to go into litigation. I've always wanted to do intellectual property law, where I'm protecting creative people.
Nice.
You know what I mean? So, and the other stuff, like, I find boring too. Like, things that other people find about law that are boring, I equally believe they are boring. So it was a good fit for me. It's also a great creative outlet, because I think sometimes we can get so bogged down on our careers and how serious it is and how much we have to read, and even corporate America being a part of a big company where it is straight up corporate. Like, I needed that outlet, so it kind of keeps me, it definitely does. I don't ever want to become totally that. I still want to, keep in touch with my creative fun side, no matter what.
So, with that being said, Eboticon came pretty fast. How long did this take? Because I feel like it came from she told me like 1 month, and then the next month it was here. So
it's so funny because actually she in the beginning she was like, why are you going to all these meetings? And then once we got going on getting the actual animations created, it flew by after that. But we started back in May of 2013.
Oh, really?
And we launched in July of 2014.
Okay.
Yeah, so, and now, mind you, we weren't working on the app the entire time. Like, we were trying to figure out, we have a bunch of ideas on the table. We wanted to choose one that was not going to cost a lot of money, but would be a lot of fun to do. So that's how we ended up doing Eboticon. It maybe took 10 months or so for the whole process. Yeah. But you think about, you think the app doesn't take a whole lot of work, but mind you, this has been at least 10-hour a week to 15 hours a week every single week for all 4 of us the entire time. And it still is. Like, I came here from work meeting. Yes, so.
What is it like when you see Tamar repost your, what is that like?
It's awesome. That first week, actually we were supposed to launch.
It went crazy.
Yeah, we made it available on a Tuesday. I was about to say like, we did it on a Tuesday, and then literally we weren't going to launch it until the following week. But a couple of people just started posting, and then I decided to post Moni Do It with that music on there, and it flew up after that. We're still seeing posts on Facebook that have over 1 million shares or views, and we're like, how is this still going viral? And so it's just been very exciting, and I love that. It's one thing to think you have a good idea, but it's not validated until you see that other people can identify with it. It very well could have been something that once you put it out and everybody's like, okay girl, you put a year on that. No, you know what I mean? Right, I'm just glad to, I'm really, really encouraged when I see it being successful, because that means, hey, if I think I've got a good idea, maybe I should go ahead and go for it. There's some other stuff that I want to do later, but this is good for a first run.
It's a little confidence booster. Like,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's good.
With that, and I guess more so the Eboticon. So you think Ebonics, or you think urban, or you think black, or do you feel like it's stereotyping? Do you feel the pressure to not cross a certain line because, well, that's what black people do, or like what is the mess? Is it just the urban thing? Is it the culture, or what do you want Eboticon to really represent? Because I love them, but I'm like, somebody could be offended by this, or could not get it.
Absolutely.
How do you feel about that?
No, I think that is something that my partners and I talk about all the time. Like, there is a line that we don't cross. You will never see an Eboticon that's cursing.
Right.
You won't see one that looks I don't want to say ratchetness, because there's some things that people can argue
about. But the stereotype,
yeah,
won't
absolutely.
Be the stereotype.
You won't see one eating some chicken or anything like that. Like, I don't want to exploit anything but the fun and very
I think that people take from us.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
actually, it's like popular culture.
Right.
It's less so about. I mean, we've even entertained the idea of doing some other cultures that just kind of speak to pop culture. One thing that was really surprising. Yeah, one thing that's really surprising is that we thought that our demographic was going to be one thing, but like, we are in 50 countries. We see downloads in over 50 countries that are like Asia, Switzerland. I'm like, who is downloading this out there? You know what I mean? But so yeah, I'm hoping that eventually it just becomes the emojis or emojis that represent pop culture, and not just based on the smiley face and sad face and the excited. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so that's
I think you're right, going right down to that.
Thank you. Yeah.
What are you gonna do if the keyboard maybe the inside is the keyboard slated to open up to apps like that? And does it scare you that it opens it up this wide?
It has opened. It's so funny because 2 years ago there was no talks about it. We developed the app as it is now, where you can share the emojis from the app. But as of this last update with Apple, they allow for external keyboards to be imported into your keyboard, right? So there are some apps out already, and we didn't want to be the first to market with that, because we wanted to learn from
the
bugs and quirks,
right?
And we didn't want
updates.
Right, exactly. We don't want to get bad reviews. Like right now, we have 4.7 out of 5 reviews, really, really, really great reviews, and we want to make sure that whatever we develop actually works. But yeah, we're in development for that right now. And so we're excited about the fact that now you can just go to your keyboard and do it more easily, because it wasn't ideal to have it in an external app, but I'm glad that that's already found success. So I'm hoping that with the keyboard, people will like it even more.
People would be surprised to know, because we're talking about Eboticon, you're a lawyer, but you're a drummer. And a really good drummer, if I must say.
Well, thank you.
You are a good drummer. How do you choose which path to go around, or is it just like scatterbrained, like, I'm gonna do this today?
I'm all over the place, and I've just accepted that that's gonna be my life. Literally, I do a little bit of everything, and I just take it in stride. Sometimes I used to stress myself out, like, I'm not having time to play drums and practice like I should, or I'm not having enough time to study the law like I should, or I don't have time to tend to potential entertainment clients, which is what I really want to do in the first place. And then I know Eboticon needs my attention, and there are some other business ideas. I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to just take one day at a time, work on those things in season, and then just keep going. But yeah, I just, and I don't feel like anybody should feel like, because you chose a career path, that's like the one thing you have to do. I get my drumming outlet at church usually, or if I'm in a patio on any given night, I'll just get on the stage and make sure that I haven't lost it.
Or at homecoming.
Right. Oh yeah. At homecoming. Oh my God, that was so fun. Anyway, but yeah, so I just do it whenever I can. I think it's good when you keep yourself in as many different areas and use all of your gifts as much as you can. Even like photography is something that I enjoy doing. I never really learned how to do it, but it's like I'm starting to find ways just to kind of practice that. And I think the more you do that, the more value valuable you'll become to other people, the more valuable you'll become to your business. Like now I do some of the digital marketing stuff for our company, which saves us money. I just finished I just did our last website update and built
it looks good.
Yeah, thank you. So I'm just like, a little bit at a time, but it's fun.
Yeah, and you impress yourself. Like, I didn't know how to do that.
A little bit.
Checked out the list.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's a lot of fun.
I have a game that we're gonna play.
All right.
Okay, and it's called That Ain't Law. So basically, I'm gonna show you some things, and you can tell me if that's a law that you live by, or you like, it's okay.
Okay.
You don't gotta worry about it. Okay, so. Thou shalt not stay at a party until the lights come on.
I'll do that.
You'll do that?
Yeah.
And it's funny you say that because I remember actually like, no, my mama told me that we gotta be out of the club, do not be out of the club. But you saying, I'll be there.
Yeah, I'm really in my mama's house.
Okay. Thou shalt never burn bridges.
That's definitely law. For sure. I don't believe in burning bridges. I think even when you feel like you've been done wrong or that you don't want to deal with people, you want to really just take care of all of it. You never know how that'll come back around. So
okay. Thou shalt never feel pressure to clean before a best friend comes over.
I always feel pressure to clean.
Really?
I just don't want to get red and talked about. It's been times where Sasha's come in my room and I was just not.
And then you be like, y'all, and we're like, Tracey, like, y'all need to get out. I'm like, Tracey,
no, when
it's fine.
if you come over or any of y'all come over, I promise you, right before you hit the door, I was like trying to pick up everything.
While Ashley is.
While Ashley is.
Okay. Thou shalt not mix business and pleasure.
That's law. You shouldn't
But
do that. I think people have done it. I haven't done that, but I can see a situation where that might happen anyway. So try.
Right. Thou shalt post a selfie a day. Don't be trying. I'm gonna say, selfie. So don't be trying to stay selfies now.
No,
you love a good selfie too.
I think 1 out of every 20 posts is a selfie.
Right. Thou shalt never be overdressed. Now you know,
I don't know about that one. I think that's a personal preference.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, you can't be you can't be overdressed, but always do your best.
Okay. Thou shalt always trust first instinct.
Yeah, that's law.
So it's never been one time where you trusted your first instinct and it was like.
I can only remember times where I didn't trust it and then I regretted it.
Okay.
So.
Thou shalt not go out on a party night.
That's not law.
I'm about to say,
I've done it and I paid for it.
Right.
Yeah.
Thou shalt never cheat on their diet.
Not law.
It needs to be law, right?
No, I definitely have cheated. I actually just got off a quest to, lose.
Which was amazing.
Yeah, I lost like 20 pounds.
It was good.
And, I think if you don't give yourself a little wiggle room, you get frustrated and go off of it completely. So, yeah.
Thou shalt never give it up on the first night. Is that a law?
Never. That's a law.
That's a law.
That's a law.
Lock it down, please.
Don't do that.
Okay, last one. And then one last. We're going to spin the last 2 wheels.
Okay.
So I think that you did.
I did those 2.
Okay, so yeah, let's do this. Do you believe in karma?
Yes, absolutely. I think whatever you sow, you're going to reap. I think that's a universal principle, and even if it doesn't come back in the same way that you gave it, trust me. And it's been so many times where I forgot maybe that I had done something or someone else had done something, and then something happens later. I'm like, that's definitely karma.
Yeah, my bad. Look, I'm sorry. Won't do it again. Okay.
Exactly. All right.
Grammys are awesome.
Grammys.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna say that.
You know me. I am a music lover, and definitely Grammys. Oscars are boring. It shows up. It's just super smooth.
So we talked about Eboticon, drumming, photography, all that stuff. So look in the camera and let them know what you are gonna bring to the table this year, next year, and what's to come.
All right, so this year I am continuing to push Eboticon, responding to our users, responding to just the public about what you guys want to see and making that brand and that culture even bigger. I'm also working on a new company called Hairbrella, which is for women of color and maybe not even
right. Who need a hair straight, right?
So If you struggle with having hair that once you press it and go outside, there's any humidity or any rain and it starts to frizz up, I've got a solution for you coming this year called Hair Umbrella, so look out for that.
Very nice. Thank you.